start करो. Okay, today's lecture is in continuation with the previous lecture where we have given the introduction and about what AI is and what we cover in the course. So today we will discuss the important topic in the first chapter, that is regarding the various schools of thoughts in AI. So there are various school of thoughts which are there. If you correct me, CR, if you basically when we want to understand the concept of artificial intelligence, so that is being categorized in terms of four various school of thoughts, and these four school of thoughts are basically divided into this grid you can see here, that is thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. That is the four school of thoughts we have. What AI is, there are various ways by which people have explained the concept of AI. For example, on the screen, you can see the various definitions given by various intellectuals over a period of time. And even you can define it in your own way. For example, the automation of activities that we associate with human thinking, activities such as decision making, problem solving, learning, etc., etc. And this we have discussed in the lecture 1 as well. Second definition, if you can see on the right hand side, that the study of mental faculties through the use of computational models, how your mind thinks, how your mind works. So actually we want to have the same model and we can apply it on the machine so that machine can perform the same task. Then you have another definition, the study of how to make computers do things at which at the moment people are better. Yes, humans are better. So there are lots of things which normally we do, we perform, and usually people say that these things are easily performed by humans, and what we can do is that we can perform, we'll be able to perform that task with the machines, and sometimes machines can even do better. The branch of computer science that is concerned with the automation of intelligent behavior. Another way you can explain in this way, okay, you have to automate the intelligent behavior. And the last lecture is totally based on what are the intelligent characteristics, what are the important aspects of human intelligence we have talked about in the first lecture, and I have given you many examples where you can see that how our intelligence works. And if we are able to automate that intelligence into a machine, then machine can do the same task, and in that way we can say that we have implemented AI. So the total view is divided into four categories: thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. Acting humanly, the first school of thought. That school of thought is basically based on Turing test, and you people know about Turing machines as well. You may heard or you studied Turing machine in other courses as well. Whenever we talk about designing a machine, so we always go with the Turing test or Turing machine concept. So Alan Turing in 1950, what he did is that he come out with an idea that how to convince the people, because at that time, just consider 1950, you can consider yourself कि 1950 में क्या चीज होगी या किस तरह लोग सोचते होंगे. उस जमाने में he tried to convince people that machine can become intelligent, we can make the machine intelligent. So what he did is he come out with an experiment, because we are from a scientific background, and in the scientific mindset of the people, normally we understand the concept with the help of a proof, with the help of an experiment, and if the results are there, then we can say that whether it is possible or it is not possible. So science always go with the theory and its application and its experimentation, and then you can prove your point of view. So he come out with an experiment, and that experiment is basically based on imitation game. And what is that game? He actually, what he did is that he compiled a set of questions based on logic, based on mathematics, and other related things. So he compiled a question set where a question is linked with the other question. So in case if you say yes, you can proceed, and if you in another way, and if you say no, then you can proceed in another way. So he tried to compile a set of questions, and what he did is that he invited the interrogators. Interrogator किसको कहते हैं? Interrogator इस experiment में मतलब ये है कि he invited various people to come one by one, and what he did is he put the questions to that individual who he called the interrogator. यानी जिसको, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप एक शख्स को बुलाते हैं, आप कहते हैं आप यहाँ बैठे और इन सवालों के आपने जवाब देने हैं, यानी आपने सवाल करने और आपको जवाब मिलेगा. यू क्रिएट द क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आर ऑलरेडी देयर, which are given to the question set is given to the interrogator. So when you throw the question on the other side, there is one system which is based on AI system, and the other on the other system there is a human who is responding the answers. So it means that when you generate a question, you have two types of answers, replies. One is generated by a machine and one is generated by a human. So after completion of the questions, the interrogator has to tell that according to him or her, which responses are from the are from human and which responses are from the machine, so that to distinguish between the responses generated by a human or a machine. And he actually repeated this experiment with lots of interrogators, more than 100 interrogators. And after that, the results showed that there are 80% of the people who were unable to actually say that which responses from machine and which responses are from human. So by these results, he came out with the conclusion that yes, it means a machine can make a human fool, or you, in other words, you cannot understand from where the responses are coming. So it means a machine can do it. So that is the conclusion he made. And after that experiment, he gave a prediction. And what was that prediction? That by 2000, a machine might have a 30% chance of fooling a lay person for 5 minutes. So a machine can make a person fool for 5 minutes. Now, in this year, that is, we are there in not in 2000, we are here in 2020. Now machine can make a human fool for hours, because ये तो उस जमाने में उसने predict किया था. Now it is difficult to understand, और जब तक कि हमें पता ना हो कि ये मशीन है या इंसान है जो हमें रिप्लाई दे रहा है, हमें पता नहीं होता कि ये रिप्लाई हमें कहाँ से मिल रही है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे सिस्टम्स में हम काम कर रहे हैं और वो सिस्टम्स ऑटोमेटेड सिस्टम्स है, खुद चल रहे हैं, खुद ही चेक करते हैं, खुद ही वेरीफाई करते हैं, तो आपको आइडिया नहीं होता कि ये कैसे ये टास्क परफॉर्म हो रहा है. एंड ही एंटिसिपेटेड दैट ऑल major arguments AI in the following 50 years, and then he उसने anticipate किया कि that in the next 50 years क्या कुछ हो सकता है, जिसमें बहुत सारी चीजें थी. मसलन a chess game will be developed, a machine can defeat the chess players, where machines can do the same task as human do, machine can walk, machine can think, lots of things which were anticipated at that time. So the suggested major components of AI in these type of problems or these type of tests includes the knowledge. Of course, without a knowledge, you cannot make the machine intelligent. So if you are intelligent, you have the knowledge. So how you can transfer that knowledge into the machine, that is important. Number two, the reasoning. Of course, knowledge is there, but you need reasoning. How you conclude something, how you decide something. So for that purpose, you need to have reasoning system. And normally reasoning system help you to determine your path. Then the third important cheese is language understanding. Of course, we need a language. How we can how we can represent our facts, how we can tell a machine to do that thing. So we need to have a language understanding. And the next important thing here is the major component of AI includes learning. Learning is a process which is inbuilt in humans because our mind or our learning process is a continuous process. So wherever we perform various tasks, what we do, we automatically learn from it by experiencing it again and again. What we do, we learn. And whenever we go for the learning process, what happens actually is that we next time whenever we are making such decisions, we know exactly what happened in the past. So Turing test is not reproducible, constructive or amenable to mathematical analysis. लेकिन ये जो ट्यूरिंग टेस्ट है ये कोई मैथमेटिकल एनालिसिस नहीं है, ये एक सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट है कि जिसमें उसने ये साबित किया कि ऐसा हो सकता है. ठीक है, ये रिप्रोड्यूसिबल नहीं है. जो एक दफा हमने कंस्ट्रक्ट कर लिया, अब हम उसको बार बार उसी को कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं. रिप्रोड्यूसिबल का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो नहीं है. Bharal, there are various problems and issues which are related to it, and there were people who said that Turing test is not means give the final conclusion. तो भाई लोगों ने इतराज भी किया, लोगों ने कहा कि यार ये आपने तो मशीन्स को इन्फॉर्म किया, आपने उसको नॉलेज प्रोवाइड की so that a machine can is performing these tasks. So in that way, the Turing test is a good idea, was a very good idea. और ट्यूरिंग एलन ट्यूरिंग को ने फिर इस टेस्ट को और ट्यूरिंग मशीन्स का जो कॉन्सेप्ट दिया वो आज तक चलता है. टिल नाउ वी हैव द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ट्यूरिंग मशीन्स एंड वी यूजुअली स्टडी द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ट्यूरिंग मशीन्स. तो एलन ट्यूरिंग इज आल्सो कंसीडर्ड एज अ फादर ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस. अगर आप लोगों को नहीं पता तो एलन ट्यूरिंग इज आल्सो कंसीडर्ड एज फादर ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस. एंड देयरफॉर every year an international body which is called ACM is basically they come up with Alan Turing awards, and with these award is a very precious award, and that award is given to the youngest computer scientist, emerging computer scientists from all over the world. People apply for it and they get these awards that is called Alan Turing award. So that is the concept of acting humanly. Now the second concept is regarding, or school of thought you can say, is regarding the concept that is thinking humanly. Thinking humanly is a concept which is developed from cognitive sciences. As you know, when I say the cognitive sciences, it means all those sciences which has an impact on the behavioral aspect of human mind. तो इंसान का जो जहन है उसको बनाने में, उसको आगे ले जाने में जो cognitive sciences है, for example the role of psychology, which is very much understood. There is lot of development in this subject. Now you can analyze someone, you can analyze his strong points, you can transform a human by understanding these concepts. So that revolution actually came in 1960s, the development of human thought process, and that is based on the psychology and other related subjects. So that is why we call it cognitive revolution. Information processing psychology replaced the prevailing orthodoxy of behaviorism. इससे पहले जो कॉन्सेप्ट था ऑर्थोडॉक्स, यानी ऑर्थोडॉक्स का मतलब ये होता है कि पुराना जो एक तरीका कार था वो ये था कि ज्यादातर जो स्टडीज की जाती थी वो बिहेवियरिज्म के पर्सपेक्टिव में देखी जाती थी, हाउ ह्यूमन बिहेव्स, और लेकिन उसको फिर बहुत अच्छे तरीके से रिप्लेस किया साइकोलॉजी ने. इट कम्स आउट विद वेरियस आइडियाज हाउ टू असेस एन इंडिविजुअल, हाउ टू कम आउट विद वेरियस टेस्ट टू सी दैट हाउ व्हाट इज द लर्निंग स्किल इन एन इंडिविजुअल, इसकी सोशलाइजेशन की कितनी स्किल्स हैं, इसकी ये सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो है ना बाकायदा एक मॉडल की शक्ल में सामने आए. सो ये जो ग्रुप है लोगों का ये बेसिकली बिलीव करता है कि हाउ ह्यूमन माइंड इज डेवलपिंग, So how human thinks. So in the same manner, how the human thinks, they want to transform that skill into the machines. Required scientific theories of internal activities of the brain. So it means now when I talk about psychology, then it is related with the brain itself, how your brain works, how the brain circuit is actually working, how you validate things, how you predict and test behaviors of human subjects, how you as I told you, जैसे आप लोग कहते हो कि हमने आईक्यू निकाल लिया, इसका आईक्यू ये है, इसका आईक्यू ये क्या चीज है, ये भी तो डिस्टिंग्विश करता है ना एक इंडिविजुअल को दूसरे इंडिविजुअल से। तो हम कहते हैं इसका आईक्यू बेहतर है, ये ज्यादा सोच सकता है, इसके अंदर ये स्किल ज्यादा है, इसके अंदर ये कम है। तो इसी तरह की तमाम चीजें जिस तरह से ह्यूमन सोच सकता है और उसका जो माइंड है वो वर्क करता है, that process is they try to apply the same process in machines. So these approaches comes under this approach, which is called thinking humanly. Now the third approach here is thinking rationally. Thinking rationally, rational हमेशा याद रखें, rational thought process का जो concept है, that is based on the right way of thinking. Normally we call it the right way. So rational thought process is basically based on your analytical skills, how you reason, how you convince yourself, given the facts, whatever the facts are there, out of which you can come up with your rational decision based on the reasoning. So normative और perspective rather than descriptive. तो ये ज्यादातर क्या है, ये perspective है। क्यों? क्योंकि rational thought हो सकता है आपका different हो, एक और individual का different हो, मेरा individual हो। For example, मैं, आप और हम सब टीवी प्रोग्राम देखते हैं, न्यूज प्रोग्राम देखते हैं। There are lots of people come in the program. The anchor asks the same question with the three different individuals, and all of these three come out with different perspective and with a different conclusion. And we, when see the TV, we maybe मैं किसी से convince होता हूँ, आप किसी से convince होते हैं on the basis of the given information. So that is also based on perception. Aristotle का जो role है इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा है, because Aristotle is considered to be the father figure when we talk about logic, and he come out with the concept of logic, and he basically wrote a book, which book is considered to be Bible of logic. And that book, the title of the book itself is Laws of Thought. You can see in the top slide, Laws of Thought. That is the name of the book, which was written by Aristotle, and he described that how we can express something in the form of logic, how we can express something in the form of arguments, how we can process those arguments, and we can come out with the conclusion कि अगर मुझे एक फैक्ट गिवन है, दूसरा फैक्ट है, दोनों को कैसे रिलेट करूंगा, दोनों को कैसे डिस्क्राइब करूंगा, और दोनों में से अगर कोई कंक्लूजन निकालूंगा तो मैं कैसे निकालूंगा। And lot of Greeks schools at that time, they have developed the various forms of logic, notations, and rule of derivations for thought, and they come out with a proper language itself that is called logic, because logic is something which gives you a formal structure to represent the knowledge. Logic gives you a language for reasoning, and with the help of logic, we can resolve things, we can conclude things, we can make decisions. And that logic, if implemented in machines, machine can do the same task. ठीक है, direct line through mathematics and philosophy to modern AI. So it connected the mathematics and philosophy to the modern AI, जिसको हम आज use करते हैं। ठीक है, that is the concept of thinking rationally. And last is number 4th, that is acting rationally. So acting rationally is basically based on rational behavior. And what is the rational behavior? Rational behavior means doing the right thing. So now we are talking about action. So acting rationally. So rational behavior means doing the right thing. So let's suppose you have to make the decision. So there are 4 possible decisions which are there. So which decision you have opted, and of course you have opted with a certain strategy. But uh, um, if you are going with rational approach, then you have to pick out the right thing. So doing the right thing. Right thing, again, right thing means it is based on the perception. Maybe something which is right for you is not right for me. So that is something which is related to it. The right thing, that which is expected to maximize goal achievement given the available information. In other words, we can say कि जो right thing है वो क्या है, उससे हम बेसिकली क्या अचीव करते हैं. वी कैन मैक्सिमाइज अवर गोल अचीवमेंट. मेरा अपने टारगेट को अचीव करने का, गोल को अचीव करने का जो मेरा टास्क है वो मैक्सिमाइज हो जाता है. और कब हो जाता है? गिवन द अवेलेबल इंफॉर्मेशन. ऑफ कोर्स you have some information with yourself. On the basis of that information you can reach out to the goal. Let's suppose if you are moving somewhere and you don't have a Google GPS or something like that, and you don't know and you have no idea about the destination, then what you do, you try to use the available information to reach out to that particular place, and you will try to maximize your goal achievement. You want to do this in a minimal possible time. Doesn't necessarily involve thinking. Example, blinking reflex, but thinking should be in the service of rational action. तो आमतौर से जब हम एक्शन रैशनली की बात करते हैं, it does not involve lots of thinking. It involves a clear cut decision. इसमें बहुत ज्यादा थिंकिंग नहीं इन्वॉल्व होनी चाहिए. इसमें क्लियर कट डिसीजन होना चाहिए कि मैंने ये करना है, ये मुझे दिया गया है, मुझे ये काम करना है, ये होगा तो मुझे ये एक्शन लेना है. That is why it is also called sometimes reflex actions. Reflex actions are those actions where you don't have to think, because you exactly know that this is something, this is the situation, this is the response, this is the situation, this is the response. For example, if you put your hand on a stove which is hot, you will not put your hand until your hand burn. क्या करोगे आप? आपको जैसे ही वो, अगर वो हॉट होगा, जैसे ही आप हाथ रखोगे तो आपका फौरी तौर पे हाथ हट जाएगा. ये नहीं होगा कि आप उस पे हाथ रख के बैठे रहें. So if someone put a hand in front of your eyes, then your eyes will close automatically. That is reflex, because there is no need to think about. Similarly, in lots of normal life, in the normal life, we can make lots of decisions which do not require lots of thinking, and we exactly know that this is the situation, this is the right thing, do it. So that is why it is also called reflex. And once Aristotle said that every art and every inquiry, and similarly every action and pursuit, is thought to aim at some good. तो कहता है हर आर्ट एंड एवरी इंक्वायरी, कोई भी चीज जिसको हम इंक्वायर कर रहे हैं, एंड सिमिलरली एवरी एक्शन जो हम लेते हैं, एंड परस्यूट जिसके पीछे हम जाते हैं, इज थॉट टू एम एंड एट सम गुड. तो वो किसको एम कर रहा है? वो किसी एक खास चीज को, किसी एक अच्छी चीज को एम कर रहा होता है. क्योंकि जितना ज्यादा हम जान रहे होते हैं और हम जानते हुए वो एक्शन ले रहे होते हैं, वो इंफॉर्मेशन हासिल करके वो एक्शन ले रहे होते हैं और उसको परस्यू करते हैं, तो फिर इसका मतलब है कि हम उस चीज तक पहुंचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो रिक्वायर्ड है, जो मेरे लिए बेहतर है. तो अगर मेरे पास इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है तो मेरी रीजनिंग बड़ी कमजोर हो जाएगी, मुझे नहीं पता कि मुझे क्या करना है. तो दैट इज अ कोट बाय द एरिस्टोटल. So these are called the four school of thoughts which you have discussed, and please when you go back to the chapter you can go into the detail and study all these four school of thoughts. Now there is a concept of a rational agent. What an agent is. Now we are not talking about school of thoughts, we are just talking about an agent. So agent is a terminology which is used in AI a lot. We have agent based systems. So agent is defined as, if you are listening, please focus on this definition. Agent is something which perceives input from the environment. When I say perceives, it means takes the input from the environment and acts accordingly. So you can talk about various tasks where people take input from the environment and do a particular task. For example, a traffic agent standing on the crossroads or signals, what he is doing? what is his environment? His environment is the crossroads where we may have the four roads, the vehicles which are coming from various directions, and what he is doing, that by looking into the environment, by looking into the traffic pattern coming from various roads, what he is doing, he is stopping two sides and allow the other two sides to move. Okay, that is the action which is being taken by that particular individual. So that is in the given environment. So what he is doing, he is perceiving something from the environment and responding accordingly. So agent is anything which do the same task. For example, if your classroom is in your classroom, let's suppose I want to control the temperature of the classroom. So for that purpose, if I want to design an agent, so इस agent को क्या करना चाहिए? That agent has to understand what is the temperature of the class right now, and if it is not suitable, the agent itself controls the temperature of the classroom so that uh, so that we have a good environment. So instead of कि मुझे और आपको गर्मी लगती है, मैं उठता हूँ, पंखा बढ़ाता हूँ या कम करता हूँ, एसी को कम करता हूँ या ऑफ करता हूँ, agent, so it means that is the environment. The class is the room is the environment, classroom is the environment, and from that environment the agent is perceiving some data. What is that data? That is regarding, let's suppose, the temperature or maybe the moisture level, and according to the situation agent acts accordingly. So agent is anything which perceives something from the environment. But now the question is that how agent perceives something from the environment. So agent perceives from the environment in the form of sensors. मैं और आप कैसे करते हैं? जब मैं और आप इनपुट लेते हैं कोई भी काम करने के लिए, तो मैं और आप कैसे इनपुट लेते हैं? वी परसीव, हम भी तो परसीव करते हैं ना, हम भी तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन इन्वायरमेंट से लेते हैं। आपने रोड क्रॉस करनी है तो आप रोड कैसे क्रॉस करते हैं? तो फिर आपकी नजर होती है अपने राइट पे, आपकी नजर होती है अपनी लेफ्ट पे, तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं? आप देख रहे हैं एंड यू कैन सी योरसेल्फ वेदर ऑन दैट रोड व्हीकल्स हैं या नहीं है, अगर हैं तो कितनी स्पीड से आ रही हैं, ठीक है? मे बी साउंड भी आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट हो, एंड देन you perform that action and you cross the road. And let's suppose if you are walking on your legs, so what you do, your actuator is leg. तो एक चीज हो गई sensors, and the other concept is called actuators. Actuator is something which is used to perform a particular action. We use actuators. So for various kinds of agent there will be various actuators. Like I have given you the example of a traffic agent. So in the case of traffic agent, तो एजेंट क्या कर रहा है? बोल के अपने मुंह से बोल के कह रहा है कि नहीं तुम चले जाओ, तुम आ जाओ, नहीं. What agent is doing? Using his hands. So on the basis of the hands, the agent gives you an idea कि भाई आपने यहाँ मूव करना है, आप भी उसी को वॉच कर रहे होते हो, ठीक है? So that is the concept of an agent. Now what is the rational agent? When I say it's a rational agent, it means picking out for example, the right thing. So agent can be transformed into a function. So agent can also be transformed as a function from percept histories to action. Percept किसको बोलते हैं? इनपुट को बोलते हैं. तो एक इनपुट तो नहीं आती ना, इनपुट तो आती रहती है, इनपुट तो कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस है ना. तो इनपुट you always have percept in sequence. तो ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि एक ही परसेप्ट आया खत्म हो गया. नहीं, आप गाड़ी चला रहे हैं, एक ही इनपुट आई, आपने गाड़ी चला दी, अगली इनपुट नहीं. ऑल द टाइम यू हैव द इनपुट एंड यू मेक द एक्शन, ठीक है? अ ट्रैफिक एजेंट इज देयर, जैसी पोजीशन चेंज होती है फिर नया परसेप्ट आ जाता है, फिर वो उसको अलाउ करता है, उसको जाने देता है, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. सो इन अदर वर्ड्स यू कैन से that by doing so we can define a function from percept histories to action. So here the P static represent the percept history. So परसेप्ट मीन इनपुट, भाई ये इनपुट है, ये एक्शन है, ये मेरा फंक्शन हो गया. ये मेरा इनपुट है, ये मेरा एक्शन है, ये मेरा क्या है? ये फंक्शन बन गया ना. तो अगर मैं वो सारे परसेप्ट अपने पास हो, मेरे पास हो, और उसके कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एक्शन हो, तो फिर बड़ी आराम से फंक्शन बन जाएगा. ये फंक्शन है, ठीक है? फॉर एनी गिवन क्लास ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट एंड टास्क वी सीक द एजेंट विद द बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस. नाउ whenever we are designing such an agent and whenever we are talking about such an agent, then there is one thing which is very important, that we are not talking about designing an agent only, but we are interested to have a best performance. मीन्स अगर एक ऐसा ट्रैफिक एजेंट है जो ट्रैफिक को ब्लॉक किए जा रहा है और ट्रैफिक को डेडलॉक की कंडीशन में लेके चला जाता है, तो ये परफॉर्मेंस वाइज बेहतर नहीं है। अगर एक ऐसा एजेंट आपने डिजाइन किया है जो हमेशा हार जाता है, तो ये इसकी परफॉर्मेंस वाइज तो अच्छा नहीं है। अगर एक ऐसा एजेंट आपने डिजाइन किया है जो सर्च इंटेलिजेंट सर्च बेस्ड एजेंट है लेकिन बहुत देर लगा रहा है सर्च करने में, तो ये बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस तो नहीं हुई ना। सो वेन एवर वी आर डिजाइनिंग एन एजेंट, it is very important that we need to have the best performance, and therefore we need to have some performance parameters attached to a particular agent। तो फिर किसी एजेंट को भी डिस्क्राइब करेंगे तो फिर उसके साथ जो है उसके परफॉर्मेंस के कुछ ना कुछ पैरामीटर्स होंगे। हो सकता है कहीं टाइम हो, कहीं स्पीड हो, कहीं नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स हो, कहीं और इस तरह के जो भी हो जिस एजेंट से रिलेटेड हम बात कर रहे हैं। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर मैं अब ब्रेक कर रहा हूँ 5 मिनट का और फिर मैं कंटिन्यू करता हूँ। ठीक है।